Good morning, pregame crew. It is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. It is 6:23 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:23 a.m. Eastern. This is Chart Gal Lori, and you are at the pregame show. Welcome. So I get started a little early every day. If you're tuning in later in the day, you can fast forward till this says 6:30, and that's where I'll get started with indices, commodity, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. Audio visual check, please. Good morning, Night Truck, Greg, Topher, Lisa, Keggers, Malachi, me, myself, and I. Mal. Hey, Mal, how are ya? Empower. Wave, thank you for being here. Maria, Mary, Veronica, Keith. The Chili Effect. Brandon. Bobo. Awesome, Brandon. That's great to hear. And so Brandon is saying he's excited about tomorrow. He may try a month of the Chart Guys. So this is the Chart Guys community. I'm going to post this link in our YouTube chat. And we have a free TCG membership tour tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern. Dan will take you on a look behind the curtains at the chat room and some of the value that we provide. And we're offering a one-time discount code for people who attend this little membership tour. In case you're interested, I'll post the link here. Thank you, Roger. Good morning, Dan. How are you? Hey, Bobo. Dan says all the time, it's important to remember these are just numbers on flashing screen, and I understand it's our livelihood. It represents freedom, and grocery bills, trading represents a lot of different things in your life. But with yesterday's tragedy, we always have to keep perspective. I know it seems very overwhelming sometimes. Trading is like, oh my God, I took this loss. But keep it in perspective. There's so many more important things in life, and hug your loved ones a little tighter today. That's about as deep as I can get without crying. Hey, AR, how are you? I'm mom now. All right. Hey, VB, Eric. Good morning, Jorge. Hey, Bobby. Let me see if we have any chart requests yet. I'll jump into chart requests, and then again in 5 minutes, I'll get started with indices. We'll take a look at crypto, commodities, movers and shakers of the day. And it is my goal every day to be as efficient as possible. And I don't mean to rip through charts in an inefficient or not thorough way, but I mean very efficient yet effective. How about that? Hey, Madison. How are you? Sweet girl. XMR USD, let's look at it. It's probably not looking great. Nope, there you go. Just 1 second, let me look at Bitcoin dominance. Interesting. The Bitcoin has that 4-hour higher high on dominance, but this altcoin is standing out, obviously. So I don't know where the volume is. I'll just look at Binance. 4-hour, nice volume. So odds favor a weekly lower high compared to 289.59. So remember that. And on the daily, we have a higher high, higher low, but 229.67, this could be a key resistance in this puzzle here. So bears will be looking at that 230 area to potentially top fish. You're running into the daily 200 MA and 50 MA. Hourly uptrend. So if you're in long, I would stay in long as long as 191 is support, and or hourly EMAs are below you. Just create a rule. As long as they're below me, I'll stay in long. Got a nice uptick in volume. But remember, bears will be waiting at 230, that 230 area. SPB, okay, shipper. I have a shipper on mine. Oh, dang, this one looks like a rising wedge. Well, maybe not. Daily inside bar. You have resistance at 33.21, 31.91. So I have a mixed bag on shipping. So I know you're asking about this one in particular. It had earnings. Looks like it has a bullish reaction, which is good. Now, will people start profit taking at the open and take a bit of their profit off the table because it's had a nice run, or will they let it roll? Shippers have just been doing so great. And this is one of my favorite patterns, this pattern here. I call that the trampoline pattern. I love that pattern. So I like it. I would say as long as the hourly EMAs are below you, stay long. And I don't know if I would try this one short. I mean, maybe against $34 with a quick stop or a tight stop. Zim was the other shipper I was looking at, and this one doesn't look as good. This looks like a diamond pattern. This is bearish. And then we have GOGL as one of my movers and shakers. It looks good. It has a potential daily bull flag. So overall, and we have a dividend coming up May 31st for 50 cents on a $15 stock. Really healthy dividend. So overall, shipping stocks look great. SBLK proved it with earnings. So I would stay long shippers as long as they stay in hourly uptrends. Okay. Good morning, young Thunder. How are ya? Sorry about the spam. Let me go back. Oh, good, Mal. I enjoy I'm glad you've been enjoying life. AC bro. Hey, Bo. BG. Awesome. Yeah, if y'all could hit the like button, that'd be great. You may have asked me about BG yesterday, Bobby, because that sure was a marked up chart. Weekly inside bar. We have somewhat of a daily EQ. It's not super neat, but we have a weekly inside bar. We're still inside last week's range. And then this is the EQ that I was saying that wasn't super clean. 117.52 is your resistance. You have support at 107.08. Hourly uptrend. Bears are going to be waiting right here at 117.52. Yes, only clean language is allowed. We never know when children are in the room. XLF. XLF is strong. Way stronger than the market. And if we look at the Dow was stronger overnight than the other three indices again. And a large component of the Dow are financials. So on the daily, we have that double top at 34.24 and 32.23. So we're actually in a downtrend because we broke that support. NASDAQ's pulling back pretty hard on durable goods, it looks like. Let me go. Actually, I'll finish XLF. So you have an hourly, you don't have an hourly uptrend. You're V-shaped up into pre-market hours. 33.22 is your key support. And y'all know I like my hourly 50 MA. So I would say a bottom fish in this area makes sense as long as 33.22 holds. All right, it's 8:30 a.m. Let's get started. So I'll mention one more time. So tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, May 26th, we will have a membership tour. Well, Dan will take you on a tour. He'll show you our full platform, what our chat room looks like, sneak peek, testimonials from active members, and you will get an exclusive discount code. And you'll have the opportunity to ask questions of Dan. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you're on Twitter, if you could give me a follow at Chart Gal Lori, I won't spam you. That would be great. What I do here every morning is I show you where the fishing holes are, and then you bring the fishing pole. So I give you the setups, and then you bring your particular edge, whatever it may be, inside bars, EMAs crossing, the strat, whatever, or correlations, whatever your particular edge is, you bring that to the fishing hole, and I give you a layout. I always say, I wake up in the morning and someone dumped all the puzzle pieces overnight on the floor, and I pick one up one by one for a few hours, put the puzzle back together, and I try to give you a roadmap of the day. Looks like we're bouncing from this durable goods reaction. So the mortgage reaction came out, I believe, after pregame yesterday, or new home purchases, and I didn't cover it because it was later in the day. But just to point out, so new home sales for April was projected to be 1%, and it actually was negative 16%. That says a lot about the economy slowing. So just wanted to point out that economic data. I don't normally look at new home sales or mortgage applications, mortgage interest rates, but it's starting to tell a tale. But I would say with this downward momentum we've had on the stock market since March 28th, it actually started in January. Then we had a pop and then promptly down. That we're pricing in a lot of these rate hikes, a lot of this recession, we're pricing it in. So we need to remember that. We also need to remember there's people stuck. So I'm going to try to think of a name I don't have marked up. Amazon. There are people stuck here, 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 here. So every time price pushes up into another structure, think of it like a house. This is a house and we're on the first floor here. When we push up to the second story, we've got new sellers. We have sellers waiting here and they're waiting to hand their bag off to you. On the fourth story, they're waiting to hand their bag off to you. On the fifth story. So we're way down low in structure and bulls have to build this structure back up one story at a time. So that's why when we're in a bull market, it's hard for bears to take over because bulls have the momentum. Well, in this case, bears have the momentum to the downside, and now we have bag holders overhead that causes pressure. So that's why regardless of what bottom fish setup I give you, I may find a decent bottom fish setup and it may be a nice risk to reward because I can't tell you to short in the hole, meaning there's not a lot of meat, for example, left on the Amazon bond. Amazon bears want this to bounce closer to 2,300 and take another short. However, I recommend on names that are in weekly, daily, 4-hour, hourly downtrends, if you get a little pop, that is and with a resistance level to short it. That's what's working in this market. So regardless if I give you a bullish setup, remember what our market conditions are. And I would say that the bulls are trying to do something constructive here, but trying doesn't count. This isn't horseshoes, hand grenades, or first dates. Close doesn't count. So we need some actual restructuring of the chart. And excuse all these orange dotted lines. I really worked hard this morning on my alerts. So let's see. Sort by date created, newest first. So I set all of these this morning. All of these alerts. So you're going to see a lot of orange dotted lines. They are my eyes on charts. I can't look at 20 charts at one time. So they are my eyes on charts when I'm busy helping in the chat room or whatever else I'm helping with. So man, this is busy. I'm going to have to delete a lot of this. 4-hour gave me the most clarity. And what we're looking at is higher high, 39.82. Lower low, 38.72, lower high, 39.69. And where do we create that 4-hour higher low compared to 38.72? So the levels I'm watching today are I'm going to round off 39.70 and 38.70. And that's where we are going bangarang. In between means banging up against the sides. And I say this often, and I know it sounds like slang, and of course it is. We have this large range from last week, resistance of 40.95, support 38.07. We are in the middle of that range. And what do I tell y'all when we have inside bars? When we have inside bars, it looks like a drunk girl walking home from the bar in high heels. It just gets very erratic. Higher highs, higher low, lower highs, lower. It just gets very erratic. And bangarang references the liquidity probes. We are probing liquidity at the upper ends of these ranges and the lower ends. Think of these wicks as like a syringe. The syringe goes down into supply and you have a block of shares here, or a block of shares where someone says, I'm willing to buy at 38.72. They probe into it. That supply is quickly absorbed and oh, that was a decent sound effect. That wasn't bad, huh? It absorbs that liquidity here for that block of shares sitting here saying, I think 38.72 is a deal. Then you have these shares up here that says, I'm willing to short 1,000 shares of ES or 1,000 contracts of ES at 39.69 because I think this is overdone. I'm going to sell to open here because I think it won't go higher, or I'm going to sell the shares or contracts that I bought down here up here because we're getting near resistance. So always think about bangarang or all these different slang words that I use. What does it actually describe? Probing liquidity. So if you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation. And what I do every morning is when I go through all of these charts, and I'm pretty efficient, I copy and paste and I put this in the Chart Guys community once I'm done, and that way they can slice and dice the notes as they see fit. So with all of our indices, we have weekly inside bar still. So we're still inside the weekly inside bar. 4-hour is most important on ES. Now let's look at ES relative to 38.72. Okay. Now look at NASDAQ relative to 11.576. Do you see how NASDAQ is closer? It's closer to its support, meaning it's weaker. Where's RTY relative to its 4-hour support? Pretty far off of it, so that's healthy. YM, look how we're in a higher high situation. So YM is definitely the strongest, and we're up near that golden pocket retrace of that weekly inside bar. So Dow is definitely still the strongest. RTY is looking okay, and NASDAQ is the weakest. And ES is in the middle of the pack. Let's look at the hourly. The hourly, we lost that ever important Great Wall of Louisiana, the hourly 50 MA, which I tell y'all over and over and over. It's super important. Look how it's acting as support. It came back, slammed into resistance. And again, it's very erratic. Look how erratic this chart is. You show me this chart on any name, and I will tell you it has an inside bar on a higher time frame because of the erratic nature of the price action. Okay, so we know our levels on ES. We know so on NASDAQ, 11.892, support 11.576. RTY, resistance, we have a little one here, 1778, 1779, key support, 1732. YM much stronger. I don't trade YM a lot, and it doesn't have as much of an impact on the other three indices, so I don't always set alerts for Dow, but Dow is definitely stronger. 32044 is resistance, key support 31315. DAX closed slightly, it's not closed, it's slightly green. Hang Seng closed green. So we're just talking about they're eking out a little bull, movement overnight. So it's really not telling us anything. I can't ascertain anything from that. But this is the most important chart on my screen. And you can probably tell by the number of alerts I've set. So let me kind of go out to higher time frame and let me use the path so I can, maybe this won't burn your eyes so badly. So we have a lower high at 35.48, higher low 25.51, lower high 33.11, higher low 28.06. So we have a daily EQ on volatility. So as the stock market tightens up, not that. Clear. So as the stock market tightens up in that weekly inside bar in an erratic way, the VIX is tightening up in a more methodical way. So which way VIX breaks will be the best clue for what will happen the rest of the week and the next couple of weeks possibly. So we have a daily EQ. We have this tightening range here. Clear, clear. Okay. Then we go to the 4-hour. Guess what we have within the daily? So we see this all the time where mama patterns have baby patterns. So if you have a mama cup and handle, sometimes you'll see baby cup and handles on lower time frames. So we have a daily EQ, and mama daily EQ had a 4-hour EQ. Continue to tighten up. So key resistance for today, 3107, and key support 2829. 2829 and key resistance 3107. So 2829, 3107. So if I would suggest putting alerts at those levels, if we break this 3107 to the upside, look out below market. If we break 2829 to the downside, we need to take out 2806 quickly thereafter, and market bulls should get a tailwind. Bitcoin? Yeah, hit that like button, please. Oh, wow. Sorry, David. So Bitcoin. Bitcoin has it has a tightening range. Now we're breaking support, so I can't call it an EQ. And Dan called it a channel. So regardless of where you draw your trend lines, we just have a tightening pattern. And then if you just kind of scroll out and look at the weekly, this is why we have lower lows with no follow-throughs, higher highs without follow-throughs. Why? Because we have another inside bar. We have another Russian nesting doll inside the prior week's nesting doll, inside the prior week's range. So that's why this 12-hour, even though I want to draw you a real cute EQ that makes sense, it doesn't make sense. Let me take you through the iterations of an inside bar. Lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low. So that's why it's very erratic, because we have that weekly inside bar. So what can you do about this? Inside, you're going to get chopped up most likely. So in best reward scenarios is I would be looking to top fish resistance or bottom fish support, and just be really clear with your stops and where you put them. Ethereum, same thing. Weekly inside bar support 1900, resistance 2142. Until we break this weekly inside bar to the downside or upside, we're just going to have a lot of noise. Big hourly pullback on any bounce. We're looking for an hourly lower high. Okay, Dixie is finally breaking bull out of this 4-hour falling wedge that it had going. I personally, if I were a Dixie bull, I would have wanted to see this developed, but we're breaking that neckline on the right side, so it's invalidating a potential inverse head and shoulders. But Dixie's bouncing, causing some weakness in the metal space. However, we have not lost that 4-hour support yet. On a bounce, bears could look to top fish against 1869. Oil on the daily, we still have an EQ resistance 112 and then 115.56, support 108.61 and 103.24. We continue to tighten on oil, and nat gas continues to be a raging bull. This is getting squeezy now, literally. Look at this squeeze here, and that just shows great compression. And then look at this rounded bottom and an increase in volume, hit that 50 RSI, and bulls explode. So I don't know the last support, even if I can give you one. No, 955. 9.505 was a prior resistance from 2004. So this is getting very squeezy. Bears are getting trapped left and right in that gas, so careful. You're welcome, Jane, you all. Let me go back to Bitcoin and answer your question. Dog speak. Hate getting stopped out. Okay. Well, I don't know what your entry is. I don't know what your position size is. But I would say go with the last 4-hour high or low, and I would put it at 2.8, really, like 589. Because we know we can break psychological levels, so I always give it just a little bit of wiggle room below. So that makes sense. And the next level of support below that's 28564. So if you have a really tiny position size, you may want to use this as a support. A little bit medium size, you may want to use this as support. All right. Mal, you are not a half-wit. Mal, here's the thing. I will admit that I have spent a ton of time learning a ton of things about the stock market and technical analysis. I understand Keltner channels, Ichimoku cloud, Bollinger Bands, average true range. I understand Fibonacci. I don't do Elliott wave. That's probably one of the technical areas that I haven't forayed into. But can I tell you that it's helped my overall trading? If I would have be starting right now, I would say, okay, I'm going to pick one thing. Weekly inside bars breaking bear or bull, I'll go long or short, or I'm going to do hourly or 4-hour EMAs. I would have made it a lot simpler. So that's my challenge now, is I've spent years touching all of the surface of the water, and there's only one wave you can take out at a time. So if you're a surfer, if you catch a wave and the next wave is bigger, you've missed out. You can only touch so much water or ride so many waves. So simplifying the number of tickers that you look at, simplifying the number of indicators you look at, simplifying TA will make your life easier. I promise. Getting extra fancy does not yield extra fancy results. All right, Apple. Jorge, 3.5 years. 3.5 years. So Apple has this 4-hour downtrending line where we continue to run into it. So what I'm looking at on Apple, 13733. Well, you have support here at 13815, 13733. And I'm looking for Apple to potentially hold 13733. I would like a bottom fish because we're above the hourly 50 MA. We're right at it. So I know that this is contrarian. This is what bulls would like, is we have a perfect left shoulder. Now we don't have a head or a right shoulder, so I'm really counting body parts before they even become a thing here. But this downtrend line is so strong. Be careful, bears, if we break above it. So Apple had some news about Apple iPhone sales down. So today may not be the day, but I'm watching this 4-hour downtrend line and I'm waiting for a candle close above to see where we can go. Oh, chilly effect. That's awesome. Okay, Asan. All right, so here's another setup, by the way. If you're looking at what's my fishing pole, I set an alert yesterday. I think I removed all my inactives. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it because I removed it all. Anything that's gone off. But I got an alert yesterday that ASAN was approaching 1787. We hit 1791 on the weekly chart. And this is supposedly some groundbreaking technology company. I honestly have no idea what they do. I think it's some type of software for managing projects. But it has been a hot name. The CEO has bought a ton of stock. And we're down here at weekly support of 1787. So you could make a living going around to charts that are really beat up. Okay, weekly's oversold. Daily was oversold. 4-hour is approaching oversold. Let's just look at the weekly. Monthly? No, just the weekly. And say, okay, I'm going to set an alert and I'm just going to bottom fish weekly double bottoms. Weekly, so high frames, high time frames, or top fish weekly double tops. You can make a stellar living doing this. You would have a high risk of getting stopped out, but the risk to reward is so nice. Great risk to reward. And you would do this by scanning charts on Sunday. Look at 30, 40 charts. Okay, create your alerts. Keep broker platform shut down. Only open broker platform when alert goes off. And then you check the overall market and say, okay, is the market going up or down? Or you don't even check the market and you say, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it no matter what. And I'm going to put my stop at 1775. We had people yesterday. I posted this in the chat room live right here. We had people that got this 50-cent bounce right there. They got it. It actually went up to 1880. I don't know that this was legit. You could have gotten an 80-cent bounce. So 4.5% just following that simple strategy. So basically what I'm saying is technical analysis doesn't have to be hard. You can make it a lot easier. And you learn from people in a chat room like ours. Okay, he trades correlations. Okay, he top fishes double tops. Okay, she trades the VIX inverse, which that's me right now. Whatever it is, and just keep it simple. Totally interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so ASAN I like long. I just went over a long explanation. I like long against 1787. And I like it long just for the risk to reward. I don't know anything about ASAN. The market is a dumpster fire, an absolute dumpster fire. So I'm not sitting here saying ASAN's the best stock since sliced bread, but I'm saying the risk to reward makes sense. It totally makes sense. Okay, so CF, double daily inside bar. We have double daily inside bar, resistance 101, support 98.27. CF, let's go back. So this is in chemicals agricultural. So this has been a stellar area considering all of the fertilizer shortage that we have due to the Ukraine war and all the other very sordid sundry bleh. So on CF, how about that for technicals? I like a bottom fish of 98.27. I like a bottom fish. And if that doesn't work, I would just back away because that means a double daily inside bar broke to the downside. And then you may want to top fish 187 on any bounce. GOGL, I like a bottom fish at 15.05. We have a potential daily bull flag. We have a dividend June 1st of 50 cents. So I like a bottom fish at 15.05, trying to nail the bottom of this daily bull flag, noting that some folks may sell before dividend or some people may try to get in before dividend. Dividend can impact price. Buenos dias. Okay, double daily inside bar on Home Depot. Dividend June 1st, $1.90. I like a bottom fish because of the size of this move. So we had this large range Monday, smaller range Tuesday, and now I'm looking for a break of that range, and odds favor a higher low on the hourly if the market can get its act together. Lucid, I like a top fish against 1761 or 1764. They had a recall. Macy's has earnings tomorrow, and they got a positive tailwind after hours due to Nordstrom's bull break or bull beat. So they have earnings tomorrow. So I'm looking for a potential run into earnings tomorrow, bottom fishing against 1725, recognizing that Nordstrom, they beat earnings because they said all of their designer brands were selling at full price. Macy's doesn't necessarily cover high or carry high-end designer brands. So this may not be a direct one-to-one correlation or cousin. Okay, sorry. JV, Tesla is in a world of hurt right now. So I forget which level that Elon gets a margin call. It's in the 500s, like 520 or something. But that's if he gets the Twitter loan and if he goes through with it. If he doesn't go through with this Twitter deal, he won't get margin called. But Tesla's not set up great at all. And I love Tesla, but fundamentally, but it's just not set up well. And I will not let my love for Tesla blind the actual stock price and chart setup. So Netflix, Dan pointed out this one, and what he's looking for is a potential bottom fish against 17571. 17571, looking for that daily higher low. Oh, I hate it when it does this. We just have this 4-hour tightening pattern or daily EQ looking to bottom fish that higher low against 17571. Interesting setup on SMH, and I do believe that NVIDIA will dictate the outcome of this pattern setup. We have a potential left shoulder on semiconductors, ahead and right shoulder. And remember, we talked about, or was it yesterday morning in here, or was it the midday show in TCG? I talked about that I had not noticed, oh, that was in TCG, that we did not break this daily low Friday when everything else was falling to lower lows. The majority of tech stocks were, semiconductors didn't. So it made it stand out as relatively strong. So I like a bottom fish of Friday's low, 218.76, attempting to nail a daily inverse head and shoulders. And NVIDIA earnings will most likely dictate the outcome of this pattern. And NVIDIA has earnings after hours today. Tesla, king of flips, be careful making those absolute statements. Tesla won't drop below 575. It may not, but just be open to all outcomes. Look at the 4-hour EMA's dominating price for well over a month. Dominating price since April 8th. And they just continue to walk down RSI. Look at it. They walk it down. This is a yo-yo trick. Walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog, while skirting RSI oversold. This chart has bear momentum. Short the pops until it stops working, in my opinion. Good job, Brett. Great job. Hey, Neil, how are you? All right, do y'all have any? Oh, I only have 3 minutes left, so I'm going to wrap up right here. I'm going to wrap up. I appreciate all of you being here. If you could hit the like button on your way out the door and maybe go click the link that I posted so you could take a tour of the Chart Guys community tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern. Dan will walk you through what it looks like behind the curtain, and you'll get an exclusive discount code. If you want to give me a follow at Chart Gal Lori, I would appreciate it. And TCGers, I'll see you in the room. Use stop losses.